Have you ever wondered how self-centered of a world we live in? The bubbles we put ourselves into. Everything's about self-care, self-improvement, everything's to do with the self. I was thinking about this last week. I was in London and I was on the tube, and all around me on this carriage, I realized that everyone was either staring into their phones or into their books or their papers, and no one noticed this lady that walked onto the tube with 6 or 7 bags, a little child, and struggling to stand still. In that moment, it made me think, should I offer up my seat? And in these moments, this is when I remember someone who taught me to offer up my seat. Now, I want you to think back to when you were 12 years old. What was life all about? Probably friends, fun, school. Certainly was for me. And this wasn't too different in 1950s, 60s Tanzania. My little bar would have been running around in the sun, playing these games, trying to balance on this barrel, running away from scorpions. But perhaps the only difference was she went to school on a boat. I didn't go to school on a boat. I don't know about you guys. And she loved going on the boat. And she loved boats until one day, the boat that took her an hour to get to school became a boat that took 3 months to go back somewhere called home. Just take a second to imagine what that would have felt like. Living somewhere the whole of your life, thinking that was your home, and then being told you're going somewhere else, and this is now your home. Not only that, your dad not coming with you. You're only going with your sister and your mum. Home. Anyway, like a normal 12-year-old, she got on with it, didn't think much of it, enjoyed the 3 months on the boat, continued playing her barrel game, staying balanced, became the sprint champion with all the other children before she got home. And now she thought, okay, maybe this is where I settle. This is where I get to spend time with my ba, so her mother, my sister, and now her new family that she'd just met. But soon after, she got told, you're not staying here with us. You're going to a village 30 kilometers away, and you're going to go and look after your grandmother because she's lonely. Imagine that again, being 12, you've just thought you've now figured out what your home is, and you're moving again. And before long, instead of drawing these lines in her sand where she was playing games, she was using those same patterns to plait her bar's hair. Instead of rolling around on that barrel trying to stay balanced, she was now rolling the roti to make sure that her bar was eating. Instead of giving high fives for winning her sprint race, she was using those same hands to malish her bar's legs. That was my bar, age 12. Now fast forward 50, 60 years, when I was 12. Imagine my bar at this point, having lived in 3 different countries, had multiple jobs and occupations, worked for 40 years as a nurse in a hospital. People adored her in this hospital. At this point, she was 60, 70. Think to when you're going to be 60, 70. Some of you might already nearly be there. What do you want to achieve from your retirement? Maybe go on a cruise, travel the world, live somewhere peacefully in the mountains. But most of all, give rest to your aching body. Put your legs up to the knees that desperately need surgery. My bar didn't decide this. She found out the hospital where she worked was understaffed and no one wanted to do the night shifts. So when I was 12, I grew up every evening when I was getting ready for bed, seeing my 4'10" Care Bear, feisty Care Bear of a bar in her purple nurse's dress, smart trousers and little Winnie the Pooh watch that we'd given her when we were young, with a smile on her face, ready to go and do a night shift. A retired woman going back to go and nurse because she thought that was what was right. When she returned in the morning, when I was getting ready for school, she'd still be there, smiling after having a good shift, stories to tell, and a slight slap because I was usually late and running out the door without eating breakfast. This was my bar, age 60, 70. So when I'm on that train in London and I'm thinking, should I offer my seat? The answer for me becomes quite easy. I picture my 4'10" feisty Care Bear of a bar in her nurse's uniform, or the same woman, age 12, and I ask myself the question, can I put the person in front of me, the people around me, before myself? Can I push past my own discomfort to try and help that person in front of me? And so the question I ask you all is, can you think of others before yourself? Can we choose to live a life where we create the world around us, where people are more important than our own wants and desires?